I'm good. You
Yeah, elevate women's veterans, sisterhood, love, and support for all women who served. Yeah, triumph, hardship, perseverance in the fight to win. A million times out in that field, we just survived again, climbed again. We deserve respect, we put our time in. It's only right we elevate. Yeah, this is Elevate Women Veterans with your host, Ebony Gray.
hello. Welcome to Elevate Women Veterans. And tonight we are going to talk about how to get unstuck. I am your host, Ebony Gray. I am so excited to be here with you tonight. I definitely have some great news. You know, my husband and I just purchased a brand new truck, Ford F-150. And speaking of getting unstuck, that was a big deal for us because we put on our vision board it was the first thing on our vision board was to get a brand new truck for 2023. And I promise you, we literally walked into the dealer. He saw the perfect truck that he wanted. We applied for it. We got it. And again, that was nothing but God's grace and blessings and manifesting the vision for 2023. So I'm telling you that manifestation and the goal setting that we talked about last week or 2 weeks ago, it definitely works. Like manifest what you want so that way it can come into your life and come to pass. Create the vision, work towards the vision, and make it happen. So, speaking of getting unstuck, today we'll be discussing ways to overcome those feelings of getting unstuck. A lot of women that have been coming to me after these goal setting sessions have been talking about feeling stuck. Like they don't know what to do. They get frustrated. You set goals. Maybe you have a couple of setbacks like I'm going to work out every day for 30 minutes. You miss one day, whole world is devastated. And the reality is we have to be kind to ourselves. Forgive yourself. It's okay if you don't make your goal. You don't do what you're supposed to or what you set in mind to be able to get back up and not get stuck. So get unstuck to be able to move forward so that way you don't just stay in that same place. So even just putting one foot in front of the other foot is better than just no movement at all. So today we're going to discuss just some motivational factors. We'll discuss like how you can get out of like if you maybe you're stuck in that creative block where you're like, I'm trying to write something, I'm trying to blog, I'm trying to set my weekly post, and you're just stuck. You don't know what to do or how to do it. And also, you might be feeling like a stuck point in your life. I know a lot of military veteran women, we got stuck, experiencing military sexual trauma, post traumatic stress disorder. You know, we've been through some things, and sometimes it's hard to get past those specific points in life. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about some ways that you can get unstuck and create a new normal for your life so that way you don't stay in that same dark space. We'll also be discussing some strategies and tools that you can use to get unstuck and get back on track. Are you ready? Let's go. Let's get into it. So, the first step in getting unstuck is to understand what's causing the stuckness in the first place. So, I will use me as an example. Is for years I was stuck in this dark space, and I didn't even realize it because I was fully functioning. So that's another thing, is some of us can be out here taking over the world, but when we get home and close that door, we're in that dark, stuck space mentally. So sometimes you may see somebody high performing out there living their best life, and you say, well, how are they depressed, or how are they down, or they must be living their best life. There's nothing wrong with them, but they might be in that stuck space, that box, that circle where they really can't get out. So I was going through my life day to day. You wake up, get dressed, go to work, come home, do the same thing all over. Sometimes you might go out, party with friends, travel, whatever. But I really was just at a stuck point in my life, unable to process some of the trauma that happened to me. Many of you that have known me for years, I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor of rape. I am a survivor of domestic violence. And when you experience that trauma, sometimes you go into this dark space and you're just living life. And you don't even realize that you're stuck in that dark space. So how did I get out of that dark space of depression, of, again, just going through life and just really not feeling, or beating myself up, being down on myself, and many nights being depressed? I actually sought help. Now, again, I know military women veterans, sometimes we're anti going to the VA to get help. But I went to the group coaching and the group counseling and the group classes for survivors of domestic violence and military sexual trauma, and groups for survivors of rape. And it just wasn't my thing at the time. It never worked. I wasn't feeling it. I never connected to my counselors, my therapists. It just didn't connect. So one year I said, you know what? Let me sign up for the VA. The VA was offering a women veterans only military sexual trauma group. And I'll never forget, I went in, and my counselor, she was an amazing woman. She gathered all of us together. I love the fact that it was a diverse group of women, diverse in ages, diverse in races, diverse in backgrounds, and diverse in services. So we had all the services represented in our group. And the first thing she said was, what does your new normal look like? See, I was stuck in that space of thinking that my life before was how my life had to be currently. So that was my stuck point of, I'm not this happy-go-lucky, naive young woman that came into the military just full of joy and just full of life. I had to figure out who I was. At this time, it was in my 30s. And what does my new normal look like? So that was a fun experience, actually getting to know all the women, sharing our stories, being open, feeling like we were in a safe space, and discovering our new normal. What does our new normal look like? So my new normal looked like, guess what? It's okay to reach out and seek help and get therapy and to build a new community. It's okay to be different. I was beating myself up because I wasn't the same person that I was in my 20s, and realizing in my 30s, it was okay to be different. I started finding ways, because I went away to a retreat, a military post-traumatic stress disorder and military sexual trauma retreat at Boulder Crest in Virginia. And we rode on the horses, we did kayaking, we watched the sunset, and it was beautiful. But the one thing that stuck with me was the transcendental meditation and the yoga. So that was my new normal. I had to build like ways and practices to calm my anxiety, to calm my nerves, to center myself when I was feeling all over the place. So yoga, early in the morning, wake up, do my yoga, get my mind and body right. And transcendental meditation has really pushed me through some hard times. Whenever I have fear, like right before I'm about to speak and go in front of a big crowd because I'm so nervous, or if I have to do something that maybe I don't feel comfortable with, like zip lining, I literally go into transcendental meditation just to calm my mind and my nerves. Or when I can't sleep, you're suffering from insomnia and I'm up and restless, the transcendental meditation helps to bring me back to my center and helps me calm my mind so I can relax and so I can be at peace, so I can go to sleep. So I literally practice transcendental meditation 3 times a day just to get my mind, body, and soul right. So that was creating my new normal. So it wasn't traditional. It wasn't just walking into a counselor's office and just telling them my life story. I promise you, I have shared my stories of trauma over and over again. Every time you go into a counselor's office, what do? So what happened? Take me back to that moment. I got tired of going back to that moment. Like, no, I need to move forward. I'm tired of sharing this same story. And I love the fact that my group counselor at the DC VA Medical Center, in a group for women veterans that had experienced military sexual trauma, she didn't take me back repeatedly to that point. Of course, we always have to discuss that point. Like, what happened to you? What was the trauma? They always want to know. But I love the fact that the tools that she provided and the steps that we took was really developing and building our new normal. So as you're in that stuck point, like whatever you're stuck at this point in life, think about what tools you need, what resources you need to get unstuck. So it could be counseling. It could be going to a counselor. Maybe you call Better Up or Better Help. Like, we have the virtual counseling, the traditional counseling, the group counseling. It could be a sister girl support group or a brother support group, because we have a lot of men that are going through like mental health issues and getting stuck. So maybe find your tribe, find a group of people that are like-minded that can help you get through whatever you're stuck with. Find your tribe, build your new normal. Like, what does your new normal look like? What do you visualize that you want your life to be? And then think about the tools that you might need. It could be exercise. Like, everybody's on the Peloton, right? Maybe you need to wake up, get on your Peloton, join the community, and maybe that's your inspiration, that's your motivation. It could be your husband, your wife, your children. But again, what can help you? What tools? What resources? Who's in your tribe that can help push you over that stuck point? And know that you're not alone. I think a lot of times when we're in that dark space, we feel like we're the only ones that have experienced or going through it. So it could be that maybe you experienced something traumatic. Maybe you just recently got out of a domestic violence situation and you're embarrassed and you feel like you're the only person that has experienced that situation. You're not alone. There is a village for you that can love you and support you, whether it's a virtual village or an in-person group village or just your friends and family. Don't be afraid to speak out, reach out. And if you want to do it anonymously, go on Reddit and just share your story. Or now Facebook even has the anonymous feature, so you can share your story and maybe find help, support, and resources to help push you over. Maybe you're stuck in a job. I know a lot of us have been there. You've been in that same job for 10 years saying, I can't believe I still work here. I need to find a new job. You've been saying the same thing for 10 years. You've been stuck. What can help you get unstuck? Maybe it's not the job. Maybe it's what can you do in order to better yourself in the position where you are, better your organization. Maybe you do need to find a new job okay, what resources do you need in order to transition? Do you need somebody to look and freshen up your resume? Do you need a different skill set? Maybe you need to get your education. Do you need a mentor or a coach to help push you over the edge? Or I think one thing that has come up, always comes up, especially at the first of the year, I'm stuck. I want to lose those 30 pounds. How many years have you been saying that? That you want to lose those 30 pounds? It's okay. You know what? Maybe you do need to lose those 30 pounds. But what steps? Like, what do you need to do? So maybe you are not going to, don't start off with CrossFit. Okay? Like, don't just wake up. I'm just going to jump and do CrossFit and just jump all in, because then you won't be able to function for 30 days. But think about what you can do today in order to get unstuck in your fitness life. So even if it's maybe you go outside for 5 minutes and just take a walk, that is big. That's huge. So you go outside Monday and now you're feeling yourself. You go outside Tuesday and you take 10 minutes to walk. That's better than sitting there for the next year and saying, I want to lose those 30 pounds, or I want to get back into fitness. Let's say maybe it's to eat healthy. I don't know about you, but for years I was a McDonald's and Burger King kid. Like, easy stop after work, busy all day. But okay, so maybe one of the points to getting unstuck with my nutrition and health is just to go grocery shopping like a grown up once a week. Or if you're like me, you're busy, you don't have any time during the day. Now you can just go to Instacart. So you can literally go on your phone, check all the different grocery items that you need. So maybe it's ordering groceries once a week or going to the grocery store to buy healthier stuff. So at least you have those options. Or if you don't have time to do that, be kind to yourself. Maybe it's ordering that solid. Like, I'm going to go to Panera Bread and I'm going to order that specialty sandwich, that vegan sandwich, or whatever. It's whatever you can do that makes sense today. So those are just simple ways to get unstuck. Like, think about, because a lot of times we get overwhelmed. As we're talking about different goals, I had a group of entrepreneur women. So, we got a lot of MLMs, right? They got to make their quotas. So let's say the Mary Kay's and the Pampered Chef, they got to sell a certain amount of product during a certain time. It's easy to get stuck because you might say, everybody's selling this particular product. So what do you need to do to get unstuck? Like, what people can you reach out to that the other 300 consultants aren't reaching out to? Who's in your toolbox? Who's in your wheelhouse? And what are your specific goals for this time frame? So let's say within the next month, you want to attract 60 clients. How many people do you need to reach out to? Let's say you want to reach out to at least 1,000 people so that you can attract at a minimum 60 clients. Is it easy? No. But guess what? You can send out 1,000 emails. So maybe a couple hundred emails a day. You can make a goal to contact 10 people a day. So keep it simple. I'm going to call 10 people a day. I'm going to email 10 people a day to make a personal connection. Or you can say, I'm going to go live like every morning. Like, I'm just going to go live every morning to talk about my business, to connect, to say, if you want to learn more, reach out to me. That's something simple. You can just do that for 10, 15 minutes. Go live and make that a goal. So when you get stuck, sometimes you might get overwhelmed. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I'm not successful at this. Oh, I tried this. It didn't work. But what can you do today to get unstuck so you can move towards your personal goal? So step away from the negative thinking and the negative self-talk and really think about, what can I positively do that'll make me feel good, that I know is obtainable today in order to get past that stuck point. So again, I think for years, we've been taught, right, that it is what it is. I know I had a lot of training at work where we had the different generations, right? You had the baby boomers, you got the Generation X, which I am, which we feel like we're the forgotten generation. Generation Y, Generation Z, the millennials, and you think about the different generations. So I want you guys to go back to that. Think about the baby boomers. How often did you see them leave their job? They literally stayed in that same position, same job for years at a time, for a lifetime, most times, right? Whereas now you got the Generation X and the Z, they will leave in a second. As soon as they aren't feeling it, they're out the door. I'm putting in my resume, I'm about to leave. So think about that. Like, think about the mindset of that baby boomer generation where they were stuck, where they're like, I started, I work in the government. So I started in the government as a GS1. I worked my way up to GS15. And that's just the way it is. And that's just life. So then they get stuck in that same job. You wake up every day, you go to the same job, you do the same thing, and you don't even see anything outside of that. So maybe you're missing out on your dreams or some of your goals because you're stuck. You're like, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to wake up every day, go to that same job, do the same thing. And anybody that's not on that path is wrong, right? Like, what you doing? How come you not waking up and going to the same job and doing the same thing as me? Whereas you might be in a different mindset where you're like, you may have woke up today and said, I want to start my own company. I see this AI is booming. I want to get into AI crafts. I want to put my art on Etsy. I want to sell it. I want to let the world know about my creativity. Guess what? You can do it. You can do that. It doesn't mean that you leave your job tomorrow. Please don't make no hasty decisions where you leave your job tomorrow because you're going to be a millionaire next week. That might not be true. But when you have dreams, like maybe you want to open up your own retail store, like you want to sell boutique clothes, you want to sell beautiful fashions because people tell you you dress fabulous everywhere you go, and you know that you can dress other women, dress other men, and create that image. So maybe that's a dream for you. You say, no, I can't do that. It's too much. I don't have enough money. I don't have the resources. What I say to you is, why not? Like, getting unstuck from that mentality. What if you thought, let me research, let me look at, speaking of AI, look at Chat GPT and just ask, how do I establish my own boutique? I can guarantee you, I'm not even typing right now. I can guarantee you if you type that in Chat GPT, it'll give you a whole project plan, step by step, to establish that boutique or that business or whatever venture that you want to get into. So that could be a block, right? Where you say, I don't have the information. I don't have the tools. I think the number one thing I hear from entrepreneurs, I don't have the money. What if I told you that just doesn't matter? Like, you can literally get unstuck from that stuck point of, I don't have, I can't, it's not the right time, I don't even know where to get started. You can literally go online, Chat GPT, use your AI tools since they're popping right now, and get a whole plan to help you get unstuck. And when I say like using tools to help you make your life easy, speaking of Chat GPT, you can make like a project plan. You can, like, if you wanted to do a webinar and you said, I've always wanted to talk about, how to live a fabulous life or how to make $1 million in one day. Now, I would love to know the trick because everybody has that trick. But literally, you can type that into an AI tool like ChatGPT and get a breakdown of what you can say or what you can talk about or what you can blog about. So you don't even have to get stuck there like, oh my God, I don't know, what am I going to say in my blog? Or I'm supposed to tweet like every day, 10 times a day. What do I say in my tweets? Literally, AI, artificial intelligence, can break that down for you to help you. So you don't have to worry about getting stuck with your words, getting stuck with your ideas, getting stuck with your vision. You can use AI tools. Or for me, they call me Miss Google. I can Google and find anything. And another tool that most people don't use, but I think is the best tool in the whole entire world is YouTube. You literally can learn how to do anything on YouTube, whether it's how to be a radio engineer, whether it's how to use your craft machine, what's it called? The Cricut machine, whether it's how to do a podcast or how to use AI, because AI is popping. Everybody is using Midjourney and other tools to learn how to draw, to learn how to create these beautiful images. You literally can look on YouTube, Google, and find a blog to take you step by step. And Twitter's another great tool where you can search on Twitter how to do something or a specific topic. And 9 times out of 10, there's some Twitter guru that has a step by step on how to do it. So when you talk about getting unstuck as far as your ideas, because we all have these ideas. I talk to people every single day and they all say, Ebony, I have this great idea. I just don't know where to get started. Literally, I always take them backwards to say, what's the first thing that you need to do? What's the first thing that you want to do? So that way, again, it doesn't become overwhelming. I help you to get unstuck. So you just take it back to say, if you have this great $1 million business idea, what's the first thing that you need to do in order to execute your vision? It could be just writing it down. If you have an idea, have you written it down? I want to launch this $1 million business to do XYZ. Have you written down your resources? These are the resources I need in order to launch my business. It could be signing up to get a mentor. It could be doing market analysis so you can figure out, the landscape of the business, who's your competition, what type of money will you make? Because not all ideas are going to garner money. So maybe you're doing it out of love or passion. But what are the first steps that you need to take in order to execute your idea? It could be maybe you want to write a book. That's another hot one, right? So now we have the AI tools. So again, ChatGPT and other AI tools literally can write your whole book for you. I do not recommend that because I do think you need to put your personal thoughts and processes into it. But again, at least establishing the outline or establishing where you should go, you now have tools that can literally walk you right through it and help you get it done today. Like, it won't even take hours. It won't even take days. Literally, it'll take minutes for you to come up with an idea, to draft the outline, or to come up with a concept for your idea. So this is an easy way for you to get unstuck. Is I'm giving you the formula. Use artificial intelligence. Type ChatGPT. Download it, use it. You will thank me later. Or just Google. Or do a search through YouTube in order to help you get unstuck with your ideas, to find creative ideas or to find the step-by-steps to walk you through your ideas so you can execute and get unstuck. So you don't have to sit there, get frustrated, have that same idea for 10 years. Like, I always had this big idea that I know I can make all this money. No, use your tools today so that way you can break through and get unstuck and execute. Also, I think going back to the root source, what's causing you to be stuck? I think a lot of times when I talk to women, like even with our goal planning group, they compare themselves to each other, right? Where we compare ourselves with each other, where we say, well, Ebony has accomplished X, Y, Z, and I haven't accomplished this and this and this. So therefore, I'm going to shut down because I feel like I'm not comparing to her. But guess what? This is Ebony's zone over here. This is Ebony's life, and this is like I'm going to share something about myself. I just took a personality test. I think it's called the Enigma test or whatever it's called. Somebody somebody correct me and tell me the right name. My test basically said I'm high functioning. I have to accomplish goals. That's what drives me. That is me. That's my personality. When I wake up every day, what drives me, what gets me out of bed is actually going through my checklist and accomplishing goals. I love the kudos. I love the great job. That is what drives me. Guess what? You may be the total opposite, where you are okay just getting along with the team, doing your day-to-day routine and not accomplishing 3,000 goals in one day. And you know what? It's okay. So don't compare yourself with the person over here. Instead, stay in your box and think about what it is you want to accomplish. So it could be something small. It could be, I just want to wake up today. That's enough. So don't be hard on yourself or beat up on yourself because you haven't accomplished the 3,000 goals of the person over here who's a high achiever. And you're sitting here beating up on yourself and thinking you're not good enough or having a breakdown because you're comparing yourself to that person over here. Be realistic in your goals. Like one of your goals may be, I just want to plan a vacation so I can relax and get away. So I want to plan a vacation to Jamaica, November 2023, so I can relax and clear my head. That's a great goal. You know what? How much is it going to cost? How are you going to book it? What activities are you going to do for that vacation? How are you going to prepare? Do you need to buy, do you need to buy clothes? Do you need to learn how to swim? Do you need to schedule your hair appointment today because you know how the braiders be all booked up? But that's the thing. It's okay for you to meet yourself where you are. You do not have to compare yourself in your life to someone else. So that's the number one reason when I talk to my clients, when I'm in my groups, when I'm looking on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, the number one reason people shut down and get stuck is they compare themselves to others. So even thinking about work. So at work, I am a high achiever. Like I have to accomplish certain tasks. I take all the training. I probably take more training than even imaginable, right? That's me. You may say I have one course that I want to accomplish this year. And you put it on a book and you accomplish that course. That's enough for you. That's a goal for you. You may say for your job, maybe you don't want to learn anything else, like anything additional. But for your job, maybe it's a matrix where you say, okay, I want to make sure that I respond to each email within 24 hours. Or I want to make sure that I meet the deadlines of each task that comes my way. It could be that simple for work. It's up to you, your supervisor, your company, whatever performance plan that they have to establish that performance and for you to achieve those goals compared to that performance plan. You don't have to compare yourself to your other coworkers or your managers or other people within your organization. Think about what you can achieve in your box, in your bubble that's obtainable to you, or even for fitness goals. I'm not going to lie to myself and say I can just get out there and run 10 miles. I don't even like running. Like that's just not my thing. So I am not going to compare myself and say, you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to wake up and be FloJo and run 10 miles. That is not my goal. My goal, to be truthful, I have the Peloton. My goal is just to get on the bike. That's my goal this week. Just get on the bike. I don't even have a time limit. It's just get on a bike and get started. That is my goal, and that's enough. It's get on a bike, get started, actually complete one class on my Peloton so that way I can get moving. Just the movement part. Like that's what's important to me. Your goal may be to get to the Century Club. Like maybe you trying to get them 100 rides in. That is not my goal this week. Now wait till next week. I'm probably going to knock it out and I'm going to bypass you. But my goal this week is just to get on the bike. And if your goal is to get to the Century Club, to get to those 100 rides, that's okay too. That's your goal that you hope to accomplish. And then we will break that down. In order to get to those 100 rides, how many rides do you have to do each week? How many months is it going to take you? How many weeks is it going to take you to get to those 100 rides? Because, if I'm looking at my Facebook timeline correctly, it's taking some people a couple of years to get to them 100 rides, right? And some people, they get to the 100 rides in 30 days. I don't know. That seemed a little suspect. But again, different goals, different people. And guess what? It's okay. So when you're talking about getting unstuck, let's think about and consider what's your root cause for being stuck. And really being serious, is it depression? Like, are you depressed? Is it a mental health issue where you're stuck because you just can't move forward? Maybe you need additional help like medication or to talk to a therapist or whatever it is that will help you. Maybe you need cannabis. Whatever it is that's going to help you get past that depression. It could be trauma, right? A lot of women, we have experienced trauma. So it could be domestic violence, sexual assault, molestation as a child. Maybe you were abused as a child, like, you got beat every day. Maybe there's a stuck, maybe it's generational, like where you were taught that this is the way life is, that you're not going to do any better, that you belong in this position and you're never going to move forward. You really have to think about what is it that has you stuck where you feel like you can't move. Maybe it's insecurity, right? And self-doubt where you say, man, I just can't do this. But what's inside of you telling you that you can't do it? Where does that come from? And how can we shift that and reverse it where it's not that you can't do it? Have you tried? Have you taken that first step to do it? What would it look like if you did do it? And I like to use this exercise where it's what's the worst case scenario if you did this? What's the best case scenario if you actually follow through with your goal? And as you think about that, I think you'll realize that it's not that bad, right? So, okay, I want to go ziplining and I'm going to get up there. What's the worst thing that could happen? Now, for me, my worst fear is not being able to get up there, falling off. But the best thing that can happen is I get some great video footage, pictures. I have the experience of a lifetime. I can promise you I'm probably never going to get on a zip line. But for those that are ambitious and adventurous like that, go for it, right? Like, if that's a stuck point for you and it's something you just absolutely have to do, think about the worst case scenario, best case scenario, and then just do it, right? Just go through it, like walk through it. But you do need to realize what your stuck point is. So go back to that. Like, what's my stuck point? Why am I feeling so overwhelmed? Or why am I feeling stuck? Another thing, like, I don't know about y'all, but it's taken me months to actually develop my website, finally. But there was a stuck point because I absolutely didn't want to do it because it was not my wheelhouse or my skill set. I am going to say this to all of you and to myself. I'm really saying this I'm talking to myself. Outsource, right? Fiverr is $5. Now, don't let Fiverr lie to you. It's not many web developers that are going to develop your website for $5. And if they are, You let me know. Let me see your website first, but let me know so I can book them. But for the most part, you can outsource to Fiverr, get a full website done for $150 and be done with that task. Get a virtual assistant, or you can hire a web designer out there. I'm certain they have different costs. It might be 3,000, 30,000, 500, or 100. But you can outsource for those things that are difficult. So let's say what's difficult for me would be house cleaning. It is my dream to just have a pristine house. Wake up every day, the house is sparkling clean. I am the best wife ever. That is not my reality. You know how I deal with that? I book housekeepers once a month to come in and clean the house. And I am so happy. My husband is so happy. The house is clean. And that's my reality. So my stuck point was I was not going to be cleaning the whole entire house. It's just not in me. It's not in my DNA to clean the whole house. It's like, it takes a lot. But I am able to pick up the phone or use Thumbtack or book with some of my friends to book the cleaning services so I can get it done. So that's a stuck point for me. But I overcame that stuck point by outsourcing and booking and getting people in my home to do it. Same thing for the website. Again, that is my thing. That's my gap, was the website. Oh, I need to do this website. I'm doing all these great things. I need to capture it. I can never do it. So by outsourcing, I got over that stuck point. Your stuck point might be website. It might be social media content. It could be administrative type things, like if you're trying to do your business and maybe you're stuck. It could be school, right? Maybe you want to go to school and live your best life, get your master's degree, get your PhD. Outsource, right? Like, what can you do? What can you get help with to manage? Like, maybe you have trouble writing. Why not hire somebody to tutor you or to help you through that particular portion? Or if you're like me, I needed reasonable accommodations, okay? Some of my assignments wasn't going to get in on time. And you know what? That's because of the trauma that I've experienced. I actually have documented reasons where I was able to go to my professors and to the reasonable accommodations office to say, well, Ebony can take this class, but she may need additional time to take the test or additional time to turn in her assignments in order to get this done. So don't let that be a stuck point. Like if maybe you're struggling with school or maybe you've taken that same math class 6 times, don't let that be a stuck point. Outsource, get somebody to tutor you, get somebody to help you so you can get past that stuck point and stop allowing it to keep you from progressing in life or accomplishing your goals. Also, there's the mindset shift. So again, a lot of times we get stuck where we say, I can't do it. So one thing that I see 1,000 times on the internet, I bet you if I logged in right now on the Facebook, there's about 200 relationship posts. So I'm certain there's 300 posts about Beyonce and the Grammys last night. But the other 200 are going to be about, why can't I find a man? There's no men out here for me. All men suck. Like, think about that, a mindset shift, right? Yes, the people that you have encountered may not be for you. They may be unacceptable. They may have done you wrong. That is true. But what if you spent your energy focused on the positive versus typing out the long 20-page blogs and posts on social media about what someone has done to you? What if you think about, well, what could work? Like maybe thinking outside the box. So I'm specifically talking about dating. Have you tried the online sites? Tinder, Bumble. If you into it, Grindr. What else they into? Black People Meet. Like all these different. Coffee Meets Bagel. That's one where it's supposed to be, a little bit less threatening. You talk about maybe a lunchtime date or, a different perspective. The League. Maybe you like people in Ivy League schools, so you go to the League. Maybe you want a sugar daddy. Who knows? They have a website called Sugar Daddy Want a Sugar Baby, whatever. That's probably not the correct website, but look it up. Look up Sugar Baby website, Sugar Daddy websites. But there's something for everyone. And it's okay. If somebody want a sugar daddy, please don't be online bashing, talking about that person or what he doing with his money. That is exactly what they want to do. So shout out to Young Miami Diddy. That is the way that those individuals want to live their life. And there is a website specific to that. If you want to do Tinder, maybe you say, well, Tinder is fickle. But I can tell you, I met my husband on Tinder. And I'm going to give you a little tip, a little tea. It's global Tinder, right? So you don't have to just be local. If you're not meeting the right people locally in the DMV area, you can open up your Tinder to global so you can meet people internationally. So you can do it to, Dubai, England, the Caribbeans, Brazil. Maybe you want a nice Brazilian. Whatever, you can open up your Tinder internationally. And one tip I'll give, especially if you're a nomad like I used to be, where you just travel anywhere, you can actually set your Tinder in advance, maybe a year in advance, a couple of months in advance for that country, meet people, get to know them, connect. Please make sure you FaceTime. In this day and age with technology, no one should get catfished. It's kind of hard to catfish somebody on a video or on FaceTime. FaceTime, everybody have WhatsApp. So internationally, make sure you get the WhatsApp so you can, do the videos, the voice notes, whatever. But you can get to know a person and maybe set up a meetup, a date. Like if you feel comfortable as a group or one-on-one. But that's a great way to connect, to meet someone maybe international. Or if they're coming to visit here, maybe you can connect, meet the person internationally. So I do not want to hear, oh my God, there's nobody locally, there's nobody, because you can expand your horizons and think about ways that you can connect maybe the people that are outside of this small DMV circle, that even throughout the United States, maybe your man is in Utah, who knows? But make it happen. Like, just think outside the box, like what could work? Maybe it's the professional development conferences. Like maybe you go to a professional development conference. Maybe you want an engineer or a scientist or a man in media. Go to the conference, meet, connect, vibe with your tribe. Maybe your man is a philanthropist. Sign up for a charity event or, a different charity or organization. Sign up for different meetups. Like maybe you like riding horses, whatever it is. Find your tribe. Maybe make your connections. Now, you may not always meet Mr. Wonderful because some of y'all going to come back. I went horse riding, Ebony. I ain't find nobody. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying expand your horizons outside of these Facebook groups, outside of Tinder with the local 5 men that you keep swiping through, and think outside the box. So I want every woman in the world that might be stuck in her dating life just to think outside the box and think about what could work and how you can have fun with it. Dating should not be complicated. Like I heard there was a speed dating event recently where there was more men than women. Oh my goodness, just imagine if you was the dime piece in that particular situation. You could have been taking home all the men, like taking all the numbers and connecting, because you would have been a focal one, because for whatever reason more men came out than women. That's an interesting thing. So even speed dating, because again, maybe you connect with a guy for 5 minutes, you keep it moving, and maybe you might find your one in that type of situation. So if you are stuck in the dating rut, in that woe is me, like, oh my God, I just cannot find the right person, just think about a mind shift of what would happen if you met your Rico Suave internationally in Brazil, or what would happen if you met your British Idris, right, in England. That's all I'm trying to say, is think outside the box. Also with the mind shift, mindset shift. Let's talk about financially. I have to big up this, like as we're starting to wind down in a year. Like I remember my birthday. So my birthday last year, in 2023. So August 2023. So August 20th, 2023. Just in case you guys want to send me gifts early, I signed up for a financial wellness retreat. And I said, I need to get my financial life in order. I had just gotten married. My husband is Jamaican. If you know anything about once you connect internationally, like immigration, just that whole process can not only be financially consuming, it definitely can be overwhelming. But I was just saying, how can I get my money right so that together we're in a great space, right? So I went to this financial wellness retreat. I did my budget. I looked at my bills. And guess what? In less than a year, because think about it, this is August to the present, my credit score rose 100 points. I was able to pay off 50% of my debt. So I still have, like a credit card or two to pay off. But I've been able to manage my bills. And I opened my mail. That was my stuck point. I was stuck and not being able to open the mail. I don't know about y'all, but I had like this pile of like a year's worth of mail I haven't looked at. I even found some checks in the mail. Like I was getting money and I didn't even open. And that was a mindset shift of being surrounded by women, positive women, having the coaches, having the knowledge and the information. I was able to build my credit up, build my finances up. And my husband and I together were able to build where we were able to just walk in the dealership, get a truck for our business with no stress. So I just want all of you to know this was less than a year. Just shifting that mindset to my mantra is money flows to me freely. And since I shifted that mindset of woe is me, like what am I going to do? How I'm going to pay this bill? To money flows to me freely. Money has been flowing to me freely. So I do want you to consider shifting your mindset. And I'll leave you with this. Take action on your goals. So it doesn't matter if it's a small action or a big action. Take action on your goals. Put one foot in front of the other and take the action towards your goals. You are worth it to accomplish your goals. And do not compare yourself to others. This is all about you, your goals, what you want to accomplish. So take action. If you don't listen to anything else I said today, take action towards your goals. Be kind to yourself. You are worth it. So thank you so much for listening to Elevate Women Veterans tonight. I hope this helped you tonight. Please listen to me every other Monday, 7 p.m. I am your host, Ebony Gray. And as always, it was wonderful spending this evening with you. Good night.
It's only right we elevate. Yeah. This is Elevate Women Veterans with your host, Ebony Gray.